Welcome to Second Thoughts, version 1.01. But we'll begin. Welcome. You will be required to evaluate data on 8 different subjects. Each day, you will select one of these subjects to be executed using the data provided to make your decision. For each time an execution is performed, you will be provided additional information about every subject, including those you have already killed. If you so wish, you can read this new information despite the subject being already dead, or you can pretend it does not exist and focus on those who are still alive. At the end of the experiment, the surviving subject will be allowed to go free. It is said that knowledge is power. We will find out if that statement is true. So who's really being experimented on? Am I the experimentee and people are just going to be murdered by my hand because I say so? Or are they the experiment? Who's really the experiment here? Kuro, hello, how are you? Select a subject. Okay. Observation. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So we get to what? Is this like a top-down view of them? You're planning your Halloween costume? Nice! Alright. Nothing to... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yes, that was the 8 we were looking at. Alright, let's just go top-down. Eric Robin. Eric Robin, male, age 21, nationality French, height 6 foot 2 inches. Weight 151 pounds. Birthday December 9th. Blood type O+. Occupation technician. Crimes: assault, auto theft, manslaughter, and shoplifting. Redacted information of page 2. You theme it to your game for the month theme? Nice. So you're doing Dead Space. That's exciting. Ah, good luck to you. Be stronger than I was. Lot of redacted information here. So all we know about our dear friend Eric Robin here is that they have committed assault, auto theft, manslaughter, and shoplifting. Now, the death of another person is not a good thing. That's if I am to decide someone's fate and I find out you've killed people, that's not a good thing. Second person, Sarah Barros. Gender, female, age 26, nationality Greek, height 5'5", weight 216 pounds. Birthday June 29th, blood type A+, occupation accountant. Crimes: fraud, money laundering, and tax evasion. Not any other information given. Okay. Oops, we need to go back. We need to keep going back. Okay. Well, Sarah, you haven't murdered anybody, so, I mean, unless Eric was, like, in self-defense, I don't know. Gonna whine and scream while you play the first one. Screaming years. I don't even know if you can find it in my backlogs, but I did stream it on this stream once a long time back, and I got probably more than halfway done with the first one before I noped out and babied out. I love horror games, but I'm a wimp. Y'all know this. Mia Edwardson. Female, age 40, German, 5'10", 124 pounds, born October 23rd. Blood type A+, they're a teacher. Their crimes are arson, burglary, and insurance fraud. Well, who hasn't done a little bit of that every day of their waking lives? And I don't know why I'm bothering to check these additional pages, because there's nothing there. It's not going to give me anything. But if I have to decide who lives and who dies, yeah, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of arson now and then. River Dawn. Davin. River Davin. Non-binary, 22. Irish, 5'8". 136 pounds. January 4th. Blood type B-. They are a freelancer. Their crimes are drug manufacturing and drug possession. Okay. That seems like nothing. That's nothing. All right. Arthur Lowers. I'm going to have to decide in probably like a ranked order day to day who I'm going to be killing so far. And so far only one person even stands out a little bit to me. All right, Arthur Lowers. Male, 55, American, 5'11", 202 pounds. Birthday's April 11th, blood type is A-. They're a loan officer and they've committed assault, imprisonment, and kidnapping. Okay. That's a bit dark. Imprisonment? They've held somebody captive against their will and they've kidnapped somebody? That's dark. That. I don't know what justification you could have for that, friend. Okay, so top two contenders are now Eric Robin and Arthur Lowers, but we don't know the full story of Eric or Arthur, so we really are going to have to pick carefully here. Pramod Rear. Gender, male. Age, 36. Nationality, Indian. Height, 5'1". Weight, 184 pounds. They were born on August 27th. Their blood type is AB negative. They are a judge. But their crime is that they were driving under the influence. That also ranks pretty low, just on my own personal scale of crimes you could commit, but it doesn't seem like manslaughter was part of it. Just they were driving under the influence. They have a DUI. It's not good. Doesn't make me happy, but, you know. Eva Smith. I know, right? Eva Smith is a female, 29, American, 5'8", 102 pounds, born on November 16th. Their blood type is A-. They are currently unemployed. Their crimes are attempted murder and first-degree murder. Of who? Of why? It gives me nothing except my own imagination exploring what could have happened, what caused these people to be in this situation. I am supposed to objectively decide who lives and who dies, and I have to justify that to myself and you for whatever reason. Kari Hiramatsu, non-binary, 18, Japanese, height 5'3", 143 pounds. Birthday is February 2nd. Blood type is A+. They're a sales associate. Crimes, domestic abuse, public intoxication, and shoplifting. They don't seem like a good person. I have nothing else to go off of, though, and now I have to decide which one of these dots on this screen I have to kill. Domestic abuse is definitely not a good one. It's definitely pretty low on that list. Alright, okay. Mia is fine. I think Arthur was the one. Assault, imprisonment, and kidnapping. So they assaulted someone, held someone against their will, and kidnapped someone. Those could be three separate, they could be all together, we're not sure. If I have to decide one to live and one to die, and I get to know what their story is and why I'm killing them, well, all I know in this situation is Eric has killed. Eric ended somebody's life, but I don't know what the cause of them ending someone else's life was. It could have been unintentional manslaughter. It could have been self-defense. You still get arrested for that. You still have to go to trial and be judged for it. but I don't know their story. I don't know any of their story. The only one I know, the only one I can justify, to myself at least currently, is Arthur Lauwers, who, again, I don't know the situation, but they imprisoned and kidnapped someone. They took someone else's, what is the word I'm looking for? They took someone else's autonomy away from them. And that's not the greatest crime on this list, but it's probably the most black of the black and white that I can make it out here, that I can see. Vacuous Song, hello, hello. This game is a game where we decide who lives and who dies based off of very little information, and then after we kill them, we get a bigger picture. So we are deciding that Arthur Lauwers, who took away someone's autonomy, is the first person we're going to be killing. Because I have no idea what else to expect. This action cannot be undone. Yeah. Yeah, that is the nature. Are we killing them with a vacuum cleaner? Or are we just pulling all of the air out of their cell? It sounds like we just remove the air from their cell. At least that's how I have to guess it. All right. Let's see if we can learn a little bit more about Arthur Lauwers and see if my decision in ending their life is justified or not. Background. Arthur was a well-respected loan officer who was known for helping those even when it got him in trouble with his bosses, as he saw getting the money they needed in life as a good cause. That doesn't tell me anything. How did they end up assaulting someone, imprisoning someone, and kidnapping someone? Well, let's see if Erica or Eric Robin now has more information as to what caused them to assault, auto theft, manslaughter, and shoplift. Let's see if there's more information there. Eric is a talented technician who unfortunately has not been able to get much work due to not having a good ability of marketing or reach, and turned to crime in order to pay for his bills. So you're saying if this person marketed themselves better, they wouldn't be in this situation? Am I really the one making the judgment call here, or are you, game? What resulted in you killing someone? Well, we have more information on everybody now. Just a little bit. Just some background. As an accountant making minimum wage, Sarah has been living life close to the edge without a chance to have much luxury. People have a very positive opinion of Sarah due to her charity work. And she committed fraud, money laundering, and tax evasion. Barely crimes, in my opinion. Mia Edwardson. Arson, burglary, and insurance fraud. The award-winning teacher, Mia Edwardson, is beloved by all her students for her out-of-the-box thinking and approach towards teaching, allowing for everyone to be involved and understand what is being taught. Okay, all right, okay, all right. River Davin, drug manufacturing and possession. River is known by the police and has evaded them for multiple years while starting their life of crime as a teenager. They continue to supply drugs to their hometown to this day. Well, not to this day, because we currently have them contained in a box, and we get to decide whether they live or die. But, again, not the deepest of crimes here. Now, here's the thing, and I'm only left to fill in my own blanks in this cause. If it's party drugs, it's not a big deal. If it's methamphetamine or heroin, it's a bigger deal. It's a bigger deal. You know? You're not wrong, Vacuous. You're not wrong. But I think the manufacturing and distribution part of it does kind of fall out the window at that point. I don't know. Maybe they have connections. All right. Let's see about Pramod. Driving under the influence, and they're a judge. Known as a very fair judge, Pramod has dedicated his life to his work. While being well known at his work is his passion for supporting the homeless that has given him a high status in the public. Interesting. Okay. So you're giving me bits of information that all these people have good traits to them, that they're actually good people. Except River Davin. River Davin is apparently a scumbag, according to the game. But to me, not so much, probably. I don't know. I don't have the information to work with. Eva Smith is unemployed and attempted to murder someone and did murder someone. I actually forgot about River. The only reason I would justify not having them killed first, I guess, is because, again, I don't know if this is like a self-defense situation. Or if this was a, you know, cold-blooded murder sort of thing. Short! Hello! How are you? Eva is somewhat of a mystery, as her past is mostly unknown in terms of legal documents. She has moved several times over the course of the last decade and never stays in one location more than a few months. That's not a crime. Nothing wrong with that. I just don't have a lot of information. All right. Carrie is a sales associate who has committed domestic abuse, public intoxication, and shoplifting. Carrie was known as a problem child in their school life while managing to graduate. Their grades were much lower than the national average. Their current boss is a high school friend. Okay, so now we have to decide who dies next. You playing in VR chat with your new model? I'm excited. That's really cool. Love to see it in action myself at some point soon. So who's next? Who's next on this list? Eric Robin turned to a life of crime. Committed manslaughter in the process of it. At some point. We don't know the full picture. If I have to give gravity to the crimes here, it's between Eric and Eva? Yeah. It's between Eric and Eva. So here's the thing. First degree murder means there was intent versus Eric, who is listed as manslaughter, which means it may not have been intentional. It was incidental. And I don't know Eva's story. Other than that they are a mystery person who moves frequently. Maybe running from a dark past. I don't know. But they attempted to murder one person and successfully murdered another person. Yeah. What's observation? Let's take a look at observation really quick. Observation allows us to see where and when, what they're doing. It kind of just shows us what they're up to. It doesn't give us a lot of information. Just that they move around a little bit, and I'm sure there's going to be more information on that later. Or some development that's going to pop out later, but I don't know what it is yet. When you first asked what observation is, I'm like, it's a really good game where you play as a an AI in space and you try to keep someone alive. Actually, that is a really good game. Anyways, yeah. Chekhov's gun? Well, yeah, because it's there, there's going to be something weird. Okay, we have to decide who we are going to execute next. And just, again, all I have to go off of is the gravity of the crime. And that's Eva. I wish I knew more. I wish I knew why. But we at least know to an extent that there was intent behind the attempted murder and then the successful murder in the first degree. This action cannot be undone. Itsy Bitsy! Hi. We're gonna suck all of the air out of someone's room for a second here. Or murder them with a vacuum cleaner. It could be both. It could be either. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Two down. Maybe there's a little more information that we could work on here. Maybe there's something. What scares me the most about these kinds of games is that it's an observation of my own psyche. It makes me ask myself, why? Why am I making these decisions? What does that tell me about myself? Let's see if there's more information. Let's see what new information we have here. Especially in regards to Eric Robin, who is probably the next to go. Eric is a talented technician. Both of Eric's parents are alive and stand as his only living family. He has had partners before, however. None of them have got to the stage of staying with him for longer than half a year. That doesn't tell me anything. That doesn't tell me anything. I wouldn't necessarily say a masochist, Kuro. But, curious and introspective. But I guess that's also notwithstanding from masochism. You could be an introspective masochist. Alright, what do we learn about Sarah? Money laundering and tax fraud. Her mother died when she was young after an event where Sarah and her parents were trapped in a crashed car for 11 hours. However, after this event, Sarah has become very close with her father. Oof. Oof. Ouch. This also comes down to who gets to live. That is another big aspect of this is our job, the way we progress in this game is by killing 7 out of these 8 people. We get to decide who lives. And we get to figure out if that was a good decision or not. Okay, arson and burglary. As a child, Mia was homeschooled by her mother, who was also a teacher, before dedicating her time to Mia. Her father became the main source of income for their family until passing away soon after Mia turned 19. Well, yeah, arson, they're a teacher. Oh, this is Mia. But yeah, Sarah. Yeah, exactly. Like, Sarah's money laundering and tax evasion. And they're known to be charitable. So what were they doing with that money, you know? Alright, back to River, who the game wants me to think they're a bit of a scumbag. I don't have a lot of information to verify that. But they've been wanted by the police for a while for drug peddling, basically. Family life. Their relationship with their parents is not the best. However, River has made attempts to make amends with them to mixed results. When they were 15, their older brother, whom they were very close with, tragically died. So, hang on. Let's read this. Let's read this critically here. They don't have a good relationship with their parents. That's normal. However, River has made attempts to make amends with them. to mixed results. River has taken the initiative to try to build a better familial relationship. But it's been mixed. Who knows why? It could be they go back because they genuinely miss their old life, they genuinely miss their family, but then they end up turning to the habits again and things fall apart. We don't know. Now here's the thing. River, drug manufacturing and drug possession. It doesn't, well, possession, but like, doesn't necessarily mean that they are the ones doing the drugs. All right. Pramod. A judge who was driving under the influence. A fair judge has a passion for working for the homeless, supporting the homeless. They have a very loving wife who is currently pregnant with their first child. She is set to give birth in 2 months, and thanks to his boss being very supportive, he will be able to take time off when the child is born. Well, then how did he end up here? And then Carrie. Crimes of domestic abuse, public intoxication, and shoplifting. Carrie was known as a problem child. It is known that both of Carrie's parents were physically and verbally abusive towards them, but they were not taken into foster care as the abuse was not known until after they became an adult. Okay. That could stunt some development, for sure. We will. There's something weird about Pramod. There's something very strange here. Because they're so innocuous. Driving under the influence does not score high points in my book. But there's no manslaughter. There was no accident. It just means that they were caught driving under the influence. But the information that the game wants me to know and know about them is that they are otherwise a good person with a full family life. Why? Why? It is. I have very strong feelings towards any individual who drives under the influence. But there is still the contrasting information of Eric, who they're manslaughter and has a life of crime, and River, who manufactures drugs and lives a life of crime. They're lifestylists. Eric and River are lifestylists. And then Sarah is not a lifestylist, but they have been committing for some reason. We're not sure why. Okay. Well, we've gone over them several times now. Let's go ahead and take a look at Arthur. Let's see what information we're given about Arthur. While not having any partners, Arthur adopted 2 young girls, of which one passed away after being in his care for roughly 10 years, which led to what he called the hardest time of his life. That's what's worrying me there, okay? Assault, imprisonment, kidnapping. And now we find out there's a case of 2 children being under his care? What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm trying not to jump to conclusions here. All right, and then attempted murder and first-degree murder. Family life. Her original family life is also unknown, as she was put into foster care as a baby, but was adopted during her childhood. Her foster parents are unknown, also in terms of legal documents, and any traces of them seem lost. I wonder, does Eva and Arthur have any relation with each other? Huh. 6 left. 6 left. They're relatively calm, just in their containment. Not doing anything specific or special. So who would come next on this? Again, if all we have to go off of is some very minimal backstory information and then the gravity of their crimes, how do we decide who gets to live and who gets to die? Some of these are innocuous. Some of these are concerningly innocuous. Cycle of abuse continues. They're 18. They're only 18. It doesn't matter. Yes and no. I don't know who I would get rid of. Okay, let's eliminate from the top down. If I can't decide who is directly next, top down. Arson, burglar, insurance fraud, they can pass. Sarah, fraud, money laundering, tax evasion, pass. It's fine. River Dawn, drug manufacturing, possession. Again, the grade of which type of drugs they are, oh, that could have some effect. But right now it's a pass. They are not currently directly responsible for anybody's deaths, but potentially secondarily. Driving under the influence, suspiciously innocuous. So that leaves us with a domestic abuser and 2 lifestylers. Well, I hate this. I think it has to be Eric. Again, if we have to rank this down from who deserves to live, who we have to decide dies, because only one of these people gets to live, I'm sorry, Eric. I think you're next. Probably followed by Kyrie, yeah. Okay. We're gonna dedicate to this. Whoops. No. I didn't mean to do that. I agree, Itsy Bitsy. I do wholeheartedly agree. Once again, we're gonna murder them with a vacuum cleaner. But most likely we're just removing air from whatever containment vessel they're in. I don't know. This could just be the sounds of a muffled ambient chainsaw. We just can't hear them screaming. I don't know. Day 4. Here we go. Okay. Let's see what happened with Eric. Okay. Okay. All right. Eric was on financial aid to help support himself, but had been attempting to create online help to get him additional money so he could pay his bills before he lost his home. Okay. Arthur, who we recently learned has 2 adopted children, one who passed away after 10 years. Arthur had always led a life in the middle class. He had not suffered from money troubles, nor had he been in a position of great wealth. His job supplied him income for his life and some luxuries. Okay. Now Eva. Eva the Unknown. Eva's accounts have also switched several times, along with paying for most things with cash, so her real financial situation remains largely a mystery, but it is estimated she was lower class. So you want me to judge people based off of their financial class now, huh? Okay, well, again, these are things that don't weigh heavy on my conscience. All right, here we go. The enigma that is Sarah Barros. Fraud, money laundering, and tax evasion. A Robin Hood story, it seems. They were making minimum wage, living close to the edge, no luxuries, but she did a lot of charity work. Her mother died when she was young. She became close with her father. Sarah's own financial situation is decent with enough money to pay her own bills, but not much else. However, her brother ended up on hard times with very little income, unable to support his family of 3 kids. Okay. We're asking about Sarah's financial information, not her brother's. Why would we care about that? What story are you trying to give us there? Okay. Mia, the school teacher, loved by her students who committed arson, burglary, and insurance fraud. Her father became a main source of income for their family until passing away at 19. As a teacher, her payment is not very high. However, she was not known to have any sort of money issues until her mother passed away last year, where the debt she had then was passed on to her daughter. That's not true. Unless there's like some sort of a mafia situation here, that cannot happen. Here's an important lesson for you right now in real life. If your family member is in debt, be it medical debt, be it institutional debt, and they pass away, their debt does not carry on to you. There will, capital W-I-L-L, there will be people who try to collect from you. Do not give them a dime. There are scuzzy yet reputable businesses, institutions, colleges, banks, who will attempt to get you to pay for the debts of the deceased. Do not do it. That is not your financial responsibility. It becomes a problem if you do make a payment, even a small amount. Even if you just give them $1. I'm not exaggerating here. Don't even give them that much, because by giving them that, you legally bind yourself to that debt. Don't do it. So, yeah, if anybody attempts to collect from you after a loved one or someone close to you passes away, do not pay them anything. And if they harass you over it, get a lawyer. I can attest to this from my own personal experience. Anyways, okay. That's Mia. That's concerning because she adopted someone's debt, intentionally or otherwise. Okay. River. A freelance drug manufacturer and distributor. Doesn't have a good relationship with their family. They've tried to get a better relationship. And they've been on the lam from the police for a while now. Due to the money generated from manufacturing drugs, River has never faced money issues, nor has any of their closest friends, and has even managed to afford holidays abroad once a year. Ha! Okay, alright. So they live some cush life. Not super fancy, but some cush life. Okay, alright. That gives a little bit of context, but again, nothing of significance. Alright, here's our judge. The enigmatic judge who is here because they were driving under the influence and their wife is about to give birth in 2 months, and he is supportive of the homeless. It's charitable. Pramod is a decently wealthy man, but has always made sure that any unneeded money goes towards his family, friends, and several charity organizations for all types of causes. He's lavish in his giving. He is a charitable person. All right. Kyrie. Sales associate, domestic abuse, public intoxication, and shoplifting. Their parents were also abusive towards them, and they are passing on that cycle. They currently make minimum wage, so they're not living any sort of life with luxuries. Along with their ex-girlfriend leaving them, now only one paycheck to pay for their apartment, they are struggling to get by. Okay, so he abused his... I can't fill this in. I cannot do that. It would not be unreasonable to assume that he abused his girlfriend, who now left him. But we don't know that. That's not given to us. Huh. Okay. All right. They're not moving a lot at all, are they? Oh, okay. Nothing abnormal. Nothing too abnormal. Welcome back, Kuro. It's fine. I don't think we've killed anybody just yet. But we have to decide our next person now. And the next one on my rank, if I had to decide, it's close to Carrie, the domestic abuser. But that's to say that they're incapable of change, which I don't believe in. Then there's the judge, the mysterious judge who's in here only for driving under the influence. Again, not a good crime, but comparatively still with the remaining. If this is arson, burglary, insurance fraud, a teacher who committed these, and then, okay, so we have a Robin Hood situation. We have a teacher who, for whatever reason, committed arson and burglary and insurance fraud. We have a drug manufacturer. We have a judge who drunk and drave. Yep, I'm sticking with it. And then we have the domestic abuser. It's such a fine line between them in terms of like gravity of what they've committed that the game wants me to start using their backstory to feel bad for them, to decide who's next. You're right. The arson and insurance fraud may absolutely be connected. They might have burned their house down or the school down or something. I don't know. I don't think they'd be able to collect if they burned the school down, but you know. Oh, that's a good point, Vacuous. What if this is the judge that sentenced all of them? Does that even change anything, though? Does it even change anything? Because it's determined that he's a fair judge. He's dedicated his life to his work. Mia's committed. I don't know. At this point, we're actually deciding based on character. Character traits is what we have to go off of at this point, and all the remaining 4 of these people, well, not River. Here's the thing. Only one gets to live, so why am I making such a big deal of it? Maybe that's what it comes down to. Maybe as I discover more, I should actually just decide which one I want to live. Which, right now, is Sarah? But there's gotta be something going on with Vermont, and I don't know why I'm so hung up on that. Alright. Sorry, Carrie. Doesn't matter. It could be you or someone else. This time, it really does not come down to it. I keep expecting a hook. I keep expecting a change. I keep expecting the game to go, here's a big piece of information. But it's not. It doesn't. Nothing changes. Nothing is new. What is observation supposed to do for us? What does this tell us? We don't know who's who. We only know that they're moving around occasionally, and all four of them are moving. I'm not paying attention. I'm not even looking for any patterns. Should I be? How would I? There's nothing. It doesn't really give me any new information to work off of. Okay, let's find out a little bit more about our dead really quick. Alright, here's our auto technician that committed manslaughter and shoplifting.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
Shirinxadurg! Shirinixdurg! Hello! Welcome to the haunted house. It's good to have you here. We're deciding who lives and dies today. Alright, here we go. So the auto technician wasn't able to get much work because they're bad at marketing themselves. Not the best at relationships, fine, whatever. They needed financial help. Details of crimes. All of Eric's crimes related to one incident where he robbed a supermarket for food supplies, but was caught, and in his attempts to escape, ended accidentally killing someone when stealing their car. Rough. That's rough. Again, I can't justify myself for choosing their death, but that one I feel like is not going to be one of the twisting knives in my side here. Okay, alright. Arthur, the loan officer, was a little too charitable with someone else's money, but he adopted 2 young girls, lived middle class, not paycheck to paycheck, but not luxury. After his first adopted daughter died, his other was forced to stay inside and was not allowed to attend school or see any friends. When one of her friend's parents attempted to rescue his daughter, they were assaulted. Oh boy. So he became overly possessive and obsessive. Alright. That's dark. That's pretty dark. Okay. Next is Eva. Attempted murder. First-degree murder. Unemployed. Not a lot known about her. Not a lot known about her financial situation. Nothing. We don't know really anything about this individual. Other than they were in foster care and adopted during their childhood. Wait, hang on. Her original family is also known. She was put in foster care as a baby, adopted during childhood. Foster parents are also unknown in terms of legal documents, and any traces of them seem lost. So, parents were mysteriously disappeared, or at least their documentation was. They don't have any financial history. The murder itself was of her foster father's sister, with the attempted murder being on her foster father. Due to her refusal to answer most questions, the exact reason for these crimes remains unknown. That's what I was afraid of. See, that's what I was afraid of. The story is twisting and spinning. She murdered her foster father's sister and is tempted to murder her foster father. But why? Was it out of malice? Was it a mental breakdown? Was it defense? We don't know. And here, I have decided this person's fate very early on because of the weight of the crimes that they committed. Just the weight, not the details, because we didn't have the details. All right, here we go. So here we have Carrie, domestic abuse, public intoxication, shoplifting, living paycheck to paycheck, now is financially destitute, and yeah. Their parents were physically abusive towards them. They had a problem as a child. They were a problem child, basically. Gary was caught by their ex-girlfriend after stealing items from supermarkets many times. But when confronted about it while drunk, it was reported that they hit her across the face, which is the incident that made her leave them. Okay, yeah, that tracks so far. Now that we have that in contrast to, I don't know, the arson, that doesn't seem as bad, which kind of sucks. But again, only one of these people gets to live. So let's find out a little bit more. Now that we have some details of the crimes themselves, maybe we can find out about the fraud, the money laundering, and the tax evasion. And if this really is the Robin Hood situation we're making it out to be, based off of only our assumptions. All right. In desperate attempt to gain more money for her brother, she resorted to extorting it out of her clients in small amounts over time and sending the extra money directly to her brother's family. That's why it talks about her brother in the previous sentence. She doesn't have enough to really be charitable or generous. So she starts taking it from her clients in extortive ways. All right. So that's the accountant. Okay, so we now have a little bit more of context with our money laundering situation. And it was less of a Robin Hood situation, taking from the rich, stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. Although it was still to a degree. It was just very small amounts, but to her brother instead of a broader aspect. Okay. Mia Edwardson, the teacher who committed arson, burglary, and insurance fraud. Homeschooled by her mother, was also a teacher who dedicated her time to Mia. Mother passed away at 19, and then we learned that somehow she adopted her mother's debt. While her house burned down was initially ruled as an accident, after her crimes of stealing from homes, which led to one of the residents catching her, the house was looked into again and ruled deliberate for insurance fraud. Ooh. Okay, so here's the picture that is being painted for me so far. A beloved teacher, creative thinking, loved her mother, and loved her mother. Her mother passed away at 19. Somehow she adopted the debts of her mother, which again should not happen in any sort of legal sense. But it does. Well, not in a legal sense, but it does happen in circumstances. So she turned to arson and stole from neighbors. Burned her house down to get money for it. Okay, therein lies another question. With the money you get from the insurance fraud, basically paying for your house, or at least a very significant amount, what would you need to do to continue stealing? Why did you turn to a life of crime like that? Okay, all right. River Davin, local drug peddler and manufacturer. Doesn't have a great relationship with her family. Constantly on the lam from the cops. They live somewhat comfortably based off of from how they make their money. They run a drug ring in a large city, being placed in charge after their brother, the original leader, died tragically. Due to this, there has been infighting on if River even deserves to be the one in control. So they're not a fan of family hierarchy in drug world, I guess. Okay. Nepotism is not appreciated anywhere, I guess. All right. Pramod Rear. Here we finally get to learn why the golden boy judge who got caught driving under the influence with a loving family. All right. On one night, Pramod had had a few drinks with his friends and was unable to get a taxi back home. And after attempting to several times, decided to take the risk of driving home despite being under the influence. They made a poor choice. They made a very poor choice. It's interesting. It causes a lot of introspection because I have been mostly working off of the weight of the crimes, the gravity of the crimes committed, without having all the information there and available to me. Because as we decide who dies next, we get just another piece of the story and another piece of the story. And in the end, only one of these people gets to live. And the game seems to be very, very driven on making us choose Pramod now. Which is so suspicious to me. There has to be more about what Pramod did. Okay, so here we go. The next person, all right, so here's what we know. In terms of weight of crimes, River is now kind of high up there because they apparently are a big part of a big distribution network. Which, again, it doesn't specify what kind of drugs. It could just be party drugs. It could be, horse tranquilizers. It could be over-the-counter stuff. We still don't know for certain. But the next highest weight is probably Mia. Probably Mia. Because they decided to physically steal things from other people and got caught doing it. And I mean, the insurance fraud and arson, that's its own whole thing. I don't know. Is it too liberal to think that if you have a home, you are fully entitled to burning it down if you want? Now the insurance fraud does throw that part into the into question of like, yeah, no, that's not okay. But also, insurance companies are just giant middleman scams anyways, so that's just it. We don't fully know, Zythiel. There is some suspicion that Pramod may have been the judge who oversaw these cases. Now we have to decide who dies next. I feel like it's got to be Mia. Mia and Sarah are kind of on the same level in terms of like weight of crimes committed, but also River. If we're going off weight of crimes committed, the next one would have to be River. They are they have their own drug empire. But again, we don't know the gravity of that drug empire. We don't know if they run a cleaner operation that, they avoid distributing heroin and the heavier stuff, the heavier illicit substances that frequently result in death. It could be the party drugs, ecstasy, cocaine. Don't do cocaine, kids. Weed. if that even is constituted as a drug anymore. But I mean, if this is America. So right now it's between Sarah and Mia for me, and I think I'm gonna go with Mia because I don't know why. I don't know why they would commit such heavy acts. But here we go. Sorry, Mia. We're going to pull all the air out of your cell. Again, I'm assuming we're pulling air out of the cell. We could just be beating them over the head with a blunt object while a vacuum cleaner plays next to the microphone. Okay. Figure this out. We're getting close to the end. Incidentally, alcohol is the most deadly drug. Right? You're not wrong, Vacuous. Okay. I am burning to know what type of information we get next. Eric Robin, who committed auto theft and accidentally killed the person who was driving in that attempt. Let's see what new information we get from them. Confession. Yes, I did it, but I never meant to kill him. I just got scared of being caught, and I wanted to scare him off so I could get away, and then he got hit. So we get confessions now. We get confessions. We get their words, their spoken words, which, again, is very... how would I put this? Let's not do the ones who are still alive just yet. Taking their attestations and their statements and confessions. Anybody can be coerced. And, you know, if nothing else, we've found out more and more recently that a lot of people have been incarcerated after making confessions that were not true because it would get them a shorter sentence for crimes they did not commit or crimes that were significantly less than what ended up happening to them because they confessed. All right. While her house burned down, was initially ruled an accident. So arson and then theft from neighbors and other people around her. So they moved from a life of teaching to one of theft and arson, which is, it's a weird thing. It was entirely me. I worked alone in my crimes with the only intention to get money so that I could not be so damn poor anymore. I figured I deserved it with all the work I'd put in over the years. I mean, it's not an incorrect mentality. I get it. I do. All right, maybe we should take a... what's going on in observation? Anything new happening under observation? They're not moving. It's still somewhat non-erratic. What is happening here? We're down to our last three. That doesn't give me anything. That doesn't tell me anything. Okay, all right. So that was Mia Edwards, the teacher and arsonist who we just murdered. Did we murder? I don't know. All right, here's the loan officer who imprisoned and kidnapped his own child. He became obsessive and deranged. All right, so here's the brief recap. After his first adopted daughter died, the other was forced to stay inside and was not allowed to attend school or see any friends. When one of her friend's parents attempted to rescue his daughter, they were assaulted. I, Arthur Lowers, am confessing to keeping my adopted daughter in my house without letting her go free for a long time. I became so scared after my other child died that I felt I had no other choice. Why so formal? Why is this one so formal? Could they be communicating? It's possible. But I don't know how that would affect anything. All right. Eva Smith, also deceased now. Unemployed, attempted murder, first-degree murder. Let's see what their confession was. Because they murdered their adopted father's sister and attempted to murder their foster father. Yeah, I did it. I killed her and tried to kill him. To be honest, I would try to kill him again if I got the chance. You have no idea the hell he put me through. And to be honest, I don't think you care. I mean, that's a statement. That is a statement. Because we don't know, but do care, and I decided her fate long ago. All right. Here's the domestic abuser, who, while his crime would not constitute being put to death, that's the state of this game that we are in. Okay, here we go. Here's the confession. I promise you that I didn't hurt anyone. I will admit to the crime of shoplifting, but please, please trust me that I couldn't and did not hurt anybody. I am so completely sorry that I got mixed up in all this. Okay. Now we have Sarah. Fraud, money laundering, and tax evasion. For the sake of her brother. And then we have River. Drug manufacturing, possession, and distribution with the whole network. And then a judge with a DUI. Well, it becomes a little more clear as time goes on, but let's at least read their confessions. I only wanted to take enough money to get him back on his feet. I thought that taking small amounts at a time, that no one would really care. But please, it's not his fault, and he had no idea about it. Followed by River Davin, who is finally captured, finally in custody. What I did, I am truly sorry for. I did not want to go into this type of stuff, but I made a promise that if anything ever happened to my brother, that I would take over and be in charge of the entire operation. Interesting. Okay. Very weird. Very weird. Oh, come on. I want out. Let me out. Let me out. Let me out. Okay. And then Pramod. I know that what I did was wrong, and I promise to never, ever again drink under the influence. Drink and drive under the influence. Because of this act, I will dedicate my time to helping get clean from alcohol and helping those who have been hurt by it. It's so suspicious. It's so suspicious. Why is this a golden child among everyone else? I can tell you now, they're probably going to be the ones to live because of off the information they've committed. As much as I hate driving under the influence, comparatively, it's less. It's less than everything. It's less than anything these other ones have done. River's next. So unless Sarah has some information pop up in the next section that absolves her, and or in the next section the judge has some deep, dark secret that they've been harboring, Sarah's probably going to die next. This is hard for me, too, because initially my first instinct among all of these was get the ones who murdered out of the way, and then the one who drank and drive would be the one who would get it next. But they're now in the final running. Okay, what new information do we get? Here is our mechanic. There's their confession. Off the record. His talents as a technician were indeed known to competition, and they made sure by twisting stories around his ability to prevent him from getting any type of work so that they would get more business. He was talented, and everybody around him was jealous of his talents, and they put him in this situation. Oh, that hurts. All right, here we go. Arson, burglary, and insurance fraud. There's their confession. Off the record, the debt received from her mother was minimal, and the house fire was actually accidental. One of her students was the true culprit for the break-ins, but she got caught on purpose so they didn't go to jail. Oh. What about the thefts? Oh, no. One of her students was the true culprit for the break-ins, and the house fire was accidental. Oh. All right, River. Off the record. The police were very aware of River's brother when he was alive, and it was because he stopped paying them off for silence that he was killed by them after not being able to bribe River. Oh, and after not being able to bribe River, they arrested him. So it was twisted cops all along, once again. And now these stories take shape. And now these stories all begin to take shape. All right, here we go. Arthur Lowers, one who kept his own children or his own child. But his confession was so formal. Why? Why was it so formal? Off the record, it was known that Arthur's sister was known to be fully aware the child was being held in the house and chose not to say anything. Oh. Her involvement was cut as it did not fit well with the story that the news stations wanted to sell. There is a connection. There is a connection. So are these all interconnected somehow? Or just the two so far? All right, Eva. First-degree murder. Details of the crimes. The murder itself was of her foster father's sister, with the attempted murder being on her foster father. Due to her refusal to answer most questions, the exact reason for these crimes remains unknown. Off the record. After being adopted, her legal name was Eva Lowers. She was kept prisoner in her home for many years, and the one attempt to get help was met with her foster father's sister covering up her existence. So she did not deserve to die. She did not. All right, and the domestic abuser. Let's take a look off the record. Their ex-girlfriend made up the entire story of abuse. She saw an out to get media coverage and attention from getting people to trust her over an abusive partner, and it ended up granting her a lot of fame. I knew there was going to be a gut-twisting knife in this somehow. I knew there was. I knew it. I knew it. Something was going on. What does this tell me? What is this supposed to tell me? Observation doesn't tell me anything. Okay, let's go on to the living. All right, let's go see what's off the record. Okay. Sarah's boss was fully aware of what she was doing and took a bribe to keep his silence. However, when the heat was on, he was the one to reveal the secret to the police in exchange for not being charged. Sold out by her boss. Well, that doesn't sit well. All right. All right, Pramod. What is your dark secret? What is going on here? How did you get twisted into this situation? Oh, damn it. How did you get in this? Off the record. The story of drunk driving was a cover-up to hide the fact that Pramod hit a mother and child of 4 years old when driving that night. Their existence was erased so that he could keep his status as a helper to all. be something like that, huh? Now, with all this information in front of me, I have to make the decision whether I want this one to live or this one to die. I knew the game was shoehorning. I knew the game was shoehorning this character so hard. Killed a mother and their 4-year-old child. Versus someone who stole from the rich to take care of their brother. You're right. There's the twist. It's cut and dry. Ramad took someone else's life. And this decision became much easier for me. The gravity of this still being, now that I have all this information in front of me, did I choose the right one to live? There were definitely worse ones to choose. But if I had to choose who lived at this point, who would it be? Who would it be? You're back from burning a CD. You're back from burning a CD. What year is it, Short? Do you feel that you made the right choice? No. Well, like, she was pretty innocuous comparatively. She was pretty innocuous comparatively to the rest of them. Would she be my first choice in who gets to live now with all the information in front of me? I don't think so. Yeah, right? Decisions you made are the ones you must live with. Right? Well, thanks. But there's more work that must be done. Is there? Okay. Another set of subjects awaits you? What do you want from me? You want me to go through more?